start with the next type of handling the state, and that is through hidden fields. We have seen in the previous class that one of the simplest technique was the view state. Then we have also seen how to use the cookies to store the state. The next one is to use the hidden fields. Now you are familiar by now, you are very familiar with this concept. The hidden field is putting a hidden field within the form that carries some information with it. And because the hidden fields are not shown to the user, they will not be able to get the content which is sent secretly along with the page. And you use this content for storing your temporary values and retrieve it back. Okay, so it's a very simple technique of using it. So let's look at that in action. I will go to the Visual Studio and I'm going to create a new project. So I'll create an empty project. Then I'm going to add a new page to this project. So how do I add a hidden field? So to add a hidden field, you have to just put the input. The type is hidden. Name you can give any name. I will just say edge field, hidden field. Okay. Value, I'm going to put a static value here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So value is there. Then I will use a button. I will use an ID for this button. So I have a field here and a button there, and I'm going to handle the click event of this button. So when I click on this button, I want to get the value that is there in the hidden field, and I want to show that thing. So how do I get that thing? So I'm going to just say string str is equal to, the name of that field was hidden field. Give the name, I think. We gave some name to that. I'm actually not interested in this name. The name is not the ID for it. Name is your HTML way of reference. The name is required for the browser, not by our application. That's why it's not showing me anything. I'll get that full thing here. Then I'm going to create a label. I'm going to set the text on this equal to the string. Now I'm going to go to the page and I'm going to go to its controls and I'm going to add this label to that control. Give it a try. I don't know what is wrong with that. Like this, not giving me this. Yeah, because I just typed it without the ASP tag. I must use that. Unless I make it as run at server, that field will not be available to me. I just missed that thing. I think everything is fine now. So I have a hidden field, and if I right click on it, I must be able to. So I have the hidden field is not shown to the user, but if I right click and view the source, what's wrong with this? You will notice that there is a hidden field. I have some issue with my machine, so it's not responding very quickly. But you'll be able to see that there is that hidden field even at the client side. However, that's not shown to the user. So when I click on show secret, it's going to pick up that value and it's going to show it to me. So this is one of the way in which you can store a hidden field and you can retrieve its value. So again, I have still some problem. It's not able to respond back to me. Okay. So this is how you set the hidden field. You set a hidden field by setting the input type equal to hidden and name equal to language and some value that is there. Again, I missed that thing. If at all you want to use it as a part of the server side, you need to put two more things over here, and those two things are one that you need to put here. This name is not of any use to you. What you need really is the ID. ID equal to set something, and very important thing, run at server. This is required. When you put something as run at server, it will consider that as a server component. Otherwise, they will not be available. That control will not be available for manipulating it through the program. So this is a very simple way of using the hidden field. And in the last semester, you have seen how to use the hidden field to generate the counter and so on. I'm not going to waste my time in doing that because that's not the real example that you can think of using. However, there are few problems with the hidden field. Hidden fields are not secured because anytime the user can right click on your page and view the hidden content and change the content and set something, a very different thing, and send it back to you. So hidden fields are not the one to be used for storing some important content. You can use them maybe to check whether the user has visited the page or how many times the user has visited the page or this kind of thing. But it is not meant for the other one. Okay. Let's go to the next one, query string. Now, query string is slightly different from the hidden field. Query string is a way in which you store the state in the query itself, that is in the URL. So for example, you can create a URL tryout.com and I have the fact.aspx. Then with this you can supply a key value pair. Along with it you can supply more than one value here. However, there are few problems with this. One is it is directly visible to the user. So these contents are directly visible to the user. So anytime when they see the content, they know that you are trying to send something back to the user. And the next one is this is only text. You can send a certain object or you can send some complicated data type inside it. Only content that is allowed here is a plain text. So you can only store the text value as part of it. And this technique is almost used by everyone. So if you go to, for example, if I try to go to Hotmail or I think I restart my system. So let's say hotmail.com. You will notice that it automatically changes. If you notice here, what's important is to note this point. If you carefully observe here, actually, this is the live.com that it is trying to visit. Okay, then you notice I am not able to move my mouse because I don't know, something is wrong with that machine. After this, you see there is a question mark followed by many values that are being sent there. This is the what is the meaning of saying the state? Some state is directly sent along with it. Okay, so you will be able to send the values like this through the URL itself. However, there are some restrictions. Not all. I think I have to start my system. It is getting stuck like anything. Still there. You will be able to notice that there is a long string of information that is sent along with the URL. However, there are some browsers, the old browsers or the browsers which are there embedded inside the mobile devices. They may not be able to send a very large query string with it. So you have a few restrictions there as far as the query string is concerned. However, you can send more than one value, set the more than one value. One bad thing about it is only a string. The next bad thing is it is directly visible to even a layman who is not aware of anything. So the person, even if he or she doesn't know what is HTML or whether there is a hidden field or this kind of HTML concept, they will be able to directly look at the content. So that is what is the problem with it. So be careful with it. Don't try to embed a password as part of it. However, anytime if you want to store the session ID or any type of ID, you can anytime use that thing. Okay. So this is the one. I'm going to show the demo over here. I think I will stop the demo because it is having some problem. It's not able to respond back. I have one page over here. So let me generate a query string. I think it's not possible. It is getting stuck. How do I create a query string? Remember, you have to create a URL that generates a query. Okay. Now I'm going to use this page, and I'm going to use the this part I've already explained. I will go to the page load event, or maybe button click event. when the button is clicked, I want after showing something or after without doing anything. This is my previous page wherein I had this button. When I click on that button, I want it to go to some other page. So I'm going to go for a response.redirect. I think you are already familiar with that. Response.redirect. I'm redirecting the URL, or I'm asking my browser to go to the other page. You don't come here, I go to some other page. This is what I'm doing. So I'm going to say that you redirect to the web form 2.aspx. So this is the one I'm asking it to go to this page, web form 2.aspx. But I'm going to send a. Remember, this is not a place where you can think of putting a secret. So I'm going to say this is your secret code or something of that type. So this is the secret code. Along with that, just take this secret code. So it's going to go to the web 2.aspx. If you want to say that it is in the root, you are already familiar. Okay. You just specify that. Now when I come to this page, I will go to the view of that. So I'm in the page load of second page. So the first page is directing me. So first page is redirecting me to this one, and it is sending me a code. So how do I extract that code from the first page? To extract that page from the first page, you get this request object. Then you go for this query string. Now the query string, it's an easy way to extract it. You can just specify the field that is being sent. Now in my case, the field that I am trying to send, even though I am sending only one field here, this is the field I am going to send there. So I am going to query for that. So I will say query string, get the value of this. Okay. Now when you try to do it, you may get or you may not get it, because not all the pages will submit a query with the content to it. So as a simple technique, I will just check whether I get some value out of it. Remember, what is written to you is a string, but the string is a object type or a reference type, and if there is no string, you will get it as null. Okay, that is simple as that. Now if I get to that, if it is null, I'm not going to do anything. If it is not null, I'll try to do something. I will create a label. Directly I will create a label. LBL, I'm not going to go switch between them. Equal to new label. Then I'm going to set LBL dot text equal to whatever I got it from the string. So I will say request dot query string, control V, dot value. I think string. I'm going to get that string. Now this is the label. It's not there. I will go to this page, and I'm going to tell to go to this page. I'll tell the page controls that I'm adding a new control to the page. Remember, this is the simplest way in which you can create a dynamic label. So I'm creating a label. This label is not there in the HTML. If you look at the HTML here, there is no label. But I'm going to embed, I'm going to use the code to generate the label. So this is a dynamically creating a label. You create a label and just embed it with it. So I will save and I will try my level best to run it within a short time. So I have the page. You notice that I am in the page 1, so it will take a few minutes for it to show that. Okay. When I try to click on it, it has taken me to the page 2 with the secret code of this. and that secret code is displayed over here. And you will notice here that if I view this code, you will notice that that thing is added as a span, and you notice here that is not added inside here, that is added outside the HTML. I must be very careful where I am placing it. So I just said you just dump it there, but Internet Explorer is intelligent enough to just guess that even after the end of the HTML there is a label. So you know very well, almost all browsers don't try to verify the errors inside it, except for the JavaScript. They simply try their level best to show the content of the page. So that's what is happening here, and I'm able to get the content here. Now if I change this content to something else, and if I try to do the same thing, you'll notice that it is coming back. So this is how I'm sending my query along with the content. So this is what is the meaning of saying query string. Now how do I extract the content of the query string? Now the query string is sent like this. Okay. To extract the content of the query string, request.queryString followed by the query string. What are some of the good and bad thing about it? The good thing about it is lightweight. There is no burden on the server. You are not storing any value on the server, so you are not wasting memory on the server. So it's lightweight, and you are not putting any object, so it's a simple text. What is the problem? There is a limitation of one of the limitation. It is a simple text, you can put it, and it is clearly visible to the user, so user can change the content. And the next one is the browsers which are there on the embedded devices, like the handheld devices. They usually restrict the query string. Your laptop or desktop may not be doing that thing. Now this I'm not going to explain again and again. In this case, I'm trying to send a record ID equal to 10 to a new page. So response.redirect, remember when you say response.redirect, what is happening is the redirect is not taking place at the server. It is taking at the client side. So when you say response.redirect, the response actually goes to the client side. So you are telling the client side that don't come here, instead of that go to the other web page or other place. So that's the meaning of saying that is how do I achieve that thing? You have studied something about this HTTP protocols. In the HTTP protocol, the code is I think 303 is the code. If the header contains a code 303, it's a redirect information to just tell the browser that go to the other. So the browser, you send the response to the browser with the redirect string. Browser takes that redirect string and goes to the other page. You can redirect it to the some other places using this. Now when you are redirecting it, you can change the query again. You can achieve the same thing with a URL. You can create a URL, and then in the URL also you can do that thing. For example, a simple URL, you can think of creating a simple URL, assuming that I have, let's say I'm creating a, here I can say HTTP this may not work, definitely. Then this will not work. I'm just telling you that I'm trying to send some additional information along with it. So this URL, now if you click on that URL, even though it I will put some text there. Here, So if I run this particular application, that search key is not the proper one. You can go to Google and find out how the search is being performed by them. I get a URL there. So I have a URL here. And when I click on that, you notice that again I disconnected from the one. I think did I put the double quotes for image? I think I put the double quotes for the image. It's not supposed to put that because that will terminate. Just to show you that, it's going to search for that. Okay, I think I put one more slash there. Forget it. You got the idea there. You can use even the HTML to achieve the same thing. Did I put a slash here? .com. .some page. I should have given some page there. Anyhow, along with the link, you can put some key. That is how whenever you get some advertisement from the Facebook, that says okay, click here and do something to get connected to some other things, and you try to click. It actually takes a ID and submits it along with the link. Okay, here what I have is I'm trying to send two values. One is the record ID and the mode. So record ID, and if you want to connect two variables, then use ampersand. So that is what is being done. Again, to retrieve the record ID, you just say request.varistring record ID. To get the mode, it's the same thing. Okay. Finally, to sum up the content, we have when we have the query string, it is limited to the string. The bad part it is lost if the user directly enters the value or deletes it. However, it can be stored by the user. What is the meaning of saying it can be stored by the user? Now, you know very well when you visit a website, and if you feel that okay, that's a good site, what you usually do is you go here and you add those content to the your favorites. If I try to put that thing in my favorite, what will happen is if I say add it to my favorite, you will notice that web, even though it is not showing me the full content, it will store even this query string along with it. So your favorite will contain that. If you want your user, if you do this server.redirect and other things, it's not going to work. If you want the user to permanently go to some other place or permanently take this value along with it, you can put it in the query string, and if they create a favorite link for that, or if they create a bookmark for that, the bookmark will also contain that value that you are sending here, and it can be used to directly used by you. So it is possible to store that value, not that it is not possible. However, if the user deletes it or manipulates it, you are lost altogether. And it is limited to the page. So the page that receives the request will have that values. Other pages will not be able to get it. The next one is it's not secured. There is no performance overhead. It is usually used for getting the ID or sending some information that will make you change the page number or something, which is, even if it is manipulated, it will not create a problem to your application. In that case, you can think of using it. Now let's look at some other content. Now this is not the storing the state, but it's really required. Now so far, whatever we are doing, whenever we submit on, whenever we click on that submit button, the button posts the value back to the same page. So you send a page to the user, and they click on that thing, the same page, it comes back to the same page. But you know very well, sometimes we would like to go from one page to the other. So when they click on submit, we want the values to go to some other page. So how do we achieve it? We are already familiar with the postback. Now what is postback is you send a page, when they click on submit button, it comes back to the same page. That is called as posting it back. However, if you want the values to go to some other page, then what we have is a technique called, again the mouse button is called as the CrossPage posting. Now CrossPage posting is a way in which you submit the values or you submit the response from the browser to some other page. Okay, so this is different from the postback. Usually it is used when you want to send some value. Suppose say you want to collect multiple information from the different pages, then finally you submit it. For example, you have the shopping cart. Usually you don't maintain it in the page, but isn't that something of that type? You collect a few information from the different pages and finally you submit it to the other. So when I go from one page to the other, I want to carry it to the next page so that the next page gets some values, then the next page and so on. If you want to do it, you can go for the cross-page posting. How do I achieve that particular thing? If you want to achieve a cross-page posting, then you have to go to, again this mouse is dead. In the button, you have the button. You never used to write anything on the button. On the button, just put one extra tag there, and that is one extra value there. That is postback URL, and say to which URL you want to submit it. Okay, so when they click on this button, the values will not be sent to the same page. Instead of that, it will be sent to some other page. So that is what is the meaning of saying postback and the postback URL. You can achieve this on many components. All the components that implements this I button control interface. Again, I don't have the I button control interface. Either the button implements this interface, link button, image button. All of them implement that interface. So you can get that this property, that is postback URL property, with all those controls, which can be used for posting the content back to some other page. Okay. Now, next one is, okay, you have a button. When you click on it, it will take it to the other page. Now, what are the things the other page will get? So let's say next one. So I got a request from one of the page from some other page. What are the things that will be available in this page? It's a good thing to know is you will get almost everything that is available in the previous page, including the values of those controls which were there. If there is any public properties or methods, you can retrieve them from the previous page. Even though the browser is sending from the previous page to the next page, all the content which were there with the browser when it submitted that request to the next page will be available in the new page. So anything you can get it. The values of the controls, the submit query and whatever that is there, that is automatically will come. Then maybe the properties, anything if you want, you can get it in the other page. Okay. Now how do I get that value from my in the current page? Now I want to get the values of the other page in the current page. To get that value, you have to go for a separate property of the page, and that is a previous page. Page.previous page will allow you to fetch the content of the previous page. Remember, page is, this object is for the current page, this object is for the current page. If you want to get the values of the previous page, just put page.previous page. It will give you the content of the previous page. For example, if I want to know whether I got the request from the previous page, I can just say page.previous page. If it is a postback, in that case, or cross-page postback, in that case, I can get page.previous page equal to something. It's not equal to none. If it is a direct postback, then this will be page.previous page is none. So if the request comes back to the same page, this content will be null. Otherwise, there will be some object that is associated with it. Again, remember two things. You can, this value will be something, some object reference will be there, provided it is coming from the page which is part of the same application. Suppose if you have one application and one more application on the same server or maybe on some other server, you send a page from this to the other page which is there in some other application, it will not receive it. So you can send the values from one page to the other page provided they are there in the same application. In other words, they are there in the same website. If you try to send it to some other website, those values will not be available, even if those application or that website is running ASPX with the same version and anything, it's not available. So within your application you can do it. Don't think of sending it to some other application or some other website altogether. So it's not available. Again, some other website is trying to get your page from their location. It's not possible for them to send a cross-page postage to your site. Okay. Now let's try to visualize this. I will go here again. I'm trying my level best to I'm going to close these things because they are not really required. I'll put one page. I think I'm running it. I'll put one page here. I'll go to call this as original page. Then I don't have the mouse button. Okay. So here I'm going to put the next one just for the reference purpose. I'm going to put one more page. And I'm going to call this page as just a cross. Just to say that it is CrossPage PostaBacks. So in this one, I'm going to put a label. Okay. Some value is there, and I have to put the ID LBL1. Okay. I'm going to put a button. This is PostaBacks. I will say that it's going to go to the cross page. So the second button, remember the difference. If you don't put anything here, if you don't put this PostaBacks URL, it is the PostaBacks. That means when I click on this button, it will come back to the same button. When I click on the other button, it will take me to some other page. I'm going to handle one of the buttons event, and I will handle the this button's event. I think it's possible. I'll put the okay. I have not given a name for that button. Okay, the name is okay. I'll say LBL1.text. Okay, that is it. So I wanted actually to put a line, but I think I'll do it through the code. So the first one is the very obvious one. I am just submitting it back to the same page. There is no cross-page PostaBacks. So here, okay, I have this one. If I click on this is the original value. If I click on this, you are there in the same page, and you notice that it's the original page. When I click on the other one, you notice that I'm in the cross page. That means it has taken me to the other side. Now I want to extract the value of the label in the other page. So I want to extract the value of this. So I'm in the cross page here. I want to show that value. Again, I'm going to just put the one more label here. I'm going to say label. Initially there won't be anything in this. So ID equal to LBL to some value. So this is my second page, cross page. Now I want to extract the value, so I will just go to the when the page loads, when the second page loads, I have to find the whether this is, you are already familiar, page dot is postback. You are already familiar with this. Is postback will tell me whether it is the same page that is getting submitted. In the same way, I have one more, is cross page postback. This will be true. This value is true if it is a cross page that is being requested. That means the request is not coming from the same page, the request is coming from some other page. I can do that thing. This is a simple technique. I can go here and I can do this. If it is so, then I want to extract the value of that. So I have this page dot previous page. Now I will, before I proceed, just to tell you what is this previous page. Now this, the mouse is stuck again. You notice here, it gets the transfer control. Okay, gets a page that is transferred to this current page. So previous page dot, I have to find the control inside that page. So there is a control called as LBL. So I'm going to say find that control. The name of that control that I gave is LBL1. So what is that I'm trying to do here is, I'm asking this previous page, you have one control called as LBL1. Search that control and give it to me. So what this will do is, it will search that control and it will return the control to me. But I want it to be treated like a label because I know it's a label. So I'm going to create a object of type label LB equal to I will, I think, typecast it in order to avoid any error. So I got this label. Okay, so I got that label. Now this LB is the label in the previous page. Now I will go to this current page label, that is I think LB2. This is the current page label, and I'm going to set the text of this equal to the value in the original page was plus LB dot text. So this is what I am trying to do. So I go to the first page. So how did I got that thing? I went to the previous page and I am searching for a label there in the previous page. I get that instance of that. Somewhere I think I missed a semicolon. So we are in the first, I think this is the second page itself. I will go to the original page. So this is some value is there. I will go to the cross page. I think it is. Check some value. It's not a. Start over again. Let's say I put a breakpoint there just to find out what it is trying to do now. So I got the original page and I am trying to go to this one. So I am in the debug mode. Just says that's I really don't get it. It just says it is not a cross-page postback. Say it's false. I will use the other way. I don't know what is wrong with that. Now it just says it is not a cross-page postback. I'll go to the other one and I'm going to say previous page not equal to null. I don't know. The value, just change it to previous page not equal to null. But the first one said it just believes that it is not a postback. I can't help it. So this is the some value which was there in the original page. I will go back to my original page and I will make a postback. When I do a postback, the values change. Again, I will go for a cross-page postback, and you notice that the previous value is being shown up there. So it is possible for you to send anything. It is not just the value of the controls. You can send almost anything to the other side. So how do we achieve that? Let's go to the PowerPoint and see how we are able to achieve this. I have used this technique, but the other technique is there. But the other technique just says it's not a postback, that is the cross-page postback. Now you just check whether there is the previous page object. Now remember, the previous page object will be there only if it's a cross-page postback. Otherwise, that object won't be there. It will be null. If it is so, suppose if you have a text box on the other side, you just search for the text box and get that text box. When you get that text box, what you receive is, when you search for a control, it returns a control which is the base for almost any controls that are created. You need to typecast it to the appropriate control that you want to use it, and that is available here. That's the appropriate type of control that you want to use it, and then put it into the control here. Okay. Otherwise, you can think of doing something else. Again, in this case, what is being done is I try to get this control text box. Now, suppose if the text box is not there for some reason, the page got modified, and if the text box is not there, this will return a null value. This find will return a null value. So I'm here. I'm again cross-verifying that I really have some controls. So instead of blindly assigning some values to it, I may get a CrossPage PostaBack, but that control may not be available when I try to search for it. In that case, I can still cross-verify whether that control is still there and then take the action. Okay. Now, how do I get the other properties? Now, you can get if the controls are there inside. Remember, even though when I got the label was there at the root level. You know that there are many controls that can contain, they are container types control, they can contain other controls inside it. One of the simplest example is the login control that you are using. Login control actually contains two things. One is the username text box and the other one is the password text box. Suppose if you want to search for the username and password which is inside that login control, then first you have to find that login control. First find that login control, get that control, then if that control is there, again find inside that control, this is the control, inside that control, again go for one more find. So get the main control, then go inside it and find the sub-control. Again that sub-control has one more control, then go on looping inside, leap into the last control that you want to really use it. So it's not possible that the page object will not give you all the controls. It will give you only the root level controls. If you have a control that is inside some other controls, you can further search it and get that thing. Once you get it, you can think of using it in your control. Now, in order to get the properties, you have to use the type. Now, that's other problem. Now, whenever you take this previous page, this is actually a page control. But if you want to call a method, a public method, or the method that is visible to you, then you have to either you can typecast it or get the appropriate type. So this, when you use this previous page, it's a base class that is using for the reference. Now you know very well, whenever you use a base to refer to a derived class, not all the properties or all the methods will be invoked by it. Some of them which are part of it will not be available. So what you need to do is temporarily convert this page, previous page object into a type that completely resembles your previous page. How to achieve this? There are many ways in which you can achieve it. One is by using a tag at the top of the page, that is a directive at the top of the page, that is previous page type. Then specify the type of page. When you say, suppose say this is my original page, if I put a tag previous page type and then specify the location of the page, then what this previous page will do is it will behave as an exact object of the source page. Otherwise, whenever you use this previous page, it is actually the base type that is used to point to the source page. Remember, every source page or anything is derived from system.web.page. Now, system.web.page is the base from which you derive it. Now, your source page may contain 10 text boxes inside it, may contain 2 buttons and 2 combo box or something of that type. All of them are not there in the base. You are deriving the source page or whatever page that you create. When you add a new page, what you are doing is you are creating a new class which is derived from the system.web.page. So this is a new, in other words, it's an extended version of the system.web.page. So if you use system.web.page to point to your pages, only the methods which are declared in the system.web.page can be invoked. These new controls which you have added, those methods, those properties are not available there. So what you need to do is somehow typecast this to the other type that you are deriving. So how do I achieve it? The simplest way to achieve that thing is by putting this there directly right at the top. When you do that thing, the ASP.NET Engine automatically creates this previous page as a object that is, or as a reference of this page. That means all the methods, all the properties, whatever you create inside this source page will be directly invoked without doing any typecast or anything of that kind. Okay, so that is one of the advantages. Let me show that thing. I don't think so I'll be able to get that thing. This is now taking still more time to wrap to that. Okay, let me go over here and let me put I'll go to this page. Let me put a directive here, and I'm going to put at, so percentage at previous page type. Okay, then I will specify the virtual path. Virtual path equal to, I'm going to point to the original page. Now what happened with the one line of this type? Okay, this previous page that I was using here in my code here, now it is not an object of system.web.page. Now it is a object reference, or it is a reference to a page which is of this type. So whatever control, whatever that you have here can be directly accessible now. Suppose if I create a, it's running still. Suppose if I create a method or a property or anything, let's say I want to create a method here. So I will call it as public just to avoid all the confusions with the visibility. So public, say I will use this for that. Say I'm going to say string. This is written string. My property. I don't want to set anything. Remember, there is no point in setting because you can't go back to the history and try to change the history. It's not possible. So I will just use the get method. I'm going to use a get here. That get will return the value of the label. I think that label that I had there was sorry, not in this page. Sorry about that. Not in this page. I want to go to the original page. I want to try in that page, not on this page. So let's say I have, this is the original page. There is no point in doing insert this in the second page because you are already in the second page. I want to get the values in the original page in the second page. So I will go here and I'm going to say this label was LBL dot text. So I want this property, my property, to return the value of this LBL which is there in this original page. So this LBL has a this label is there, that's a label, this label. I want that property to return that thing back to me. So this is in the original page. Now I will go to the, that was there in the original page. I will go to the cross page and now I want to extract that thing. How to get that thing. Now if you notice now, this previous page dot. You get almost everything that was. Yeah. I will not waste my time on that. Just checking my questions. I won't be giving you a demo. Sorry about that. That is, I need to reboot this particular machine. I don't know. Something has gone wrong with it. Now, if I had done that particular thing, I would have directly got, suppose say, not this one. I created this previous page. Now, assume that this is what I've done in the source page. I created a property called as currency dot something. A property, how I created my property. Now, in the other page, if I want to just get it, just call dot and that. Now, in my previous case, even if I try to do it, I just want to show at least one demo of that. Okay, my property dot that. So directly I am able to get that thing. Now, I am not searching for a control. I am not doing anything. The property is directly available. Why it is available is now this previous page is a reference to the original page. This itself. So it's an object of the same time. Anytime you can get it. I think I will from here I will quickly go through it. The demo I will show it in the lab, so that's easier. So this is what you are getting it. There is the other way around you can do it, and the other way is to use one more directory called as a reference. Reference is a way in which you can introduce other object into your page. Suppose if you want some other object as part of your page, then just use the reference. Here the pointer is not available. Give the name that you want to use it and specify where that other object is there. This could be anything. It could be a page, it could be anything that you want to just use it. You are just creating a reference to that object which is there or that class which is there in your project. Now I have created, again that pointer is also not moving up. I have created one, this is just a name that you want to give. It could be ABCD, XYZ. This is just a variable name. I create, when I say this one reference, what it does is it creates a class of this type. Now if I want to create an object of this page, this is the class name. So I use that class name. I create a object or the reference variable. Then I typecast the previous page into that. It's also possible. You can typecast it and then use it. It's one and the same. There are two ways in which you can do it. The previous one was very easy one. Remember, if not anything, even though I'm not able to show you all the demo, few things to be remembered. Whenever you go for a CrossPage PostaBacks, everything that was there in the previous page will be available to you, provided you are not violating the protection levels. Like you create something like hidden or this kind of thing, that your protections which are there, that is accessibility. If they are not violated, you will almost able to get anything which is there in the previous page. So it is not like if I submit my page to some other page, I will lose everything which is there in my page. Anytime you can do that thing and get that content there. However, it is not a advisable technique to achieve that thing. There are few reasons. One of the reason is whenever you try to connect like this, if I say from one page I am sending it to some other page, that means there is a strong binding between one page and the other page. So the second page depends on what is sent by the first page. So what you say in your provision, in your system engineering, whatever you call it as, that you are doing, the cohesion and coupling must not be there. You should not have a high degree of dependency of one thing on the other. So in that case, what will happen is, if you imagine one page has one module and the other page has the other module, when you say that okay, this page will get everything from the other page, that means this page is completely dependent on the other page. Any modification on the other page will severely affect the performance of this page. Again, and the same thing, if this page is updated in a way that violates the content that is sent by the other page, again the things will crash. So it becomes a bit difficult task handle that thing. That's why by default they expect that, okay, you send everything back to the same page so that everything is tied up within one module. The other module is free to call it. So when I have a hyperlink from one page to the other page, when I call other page, I'm not sending anything to the other page. I am just invoking it as a fresh content. So it will do its work, and when I'm finished with it, I will ask the user to go to some other page. So you may, in that case, you may say that, then how do I remember the content? I have a shopping cart here, and I want finally when every item is added onto the shopping cart, I want to go for the billing. So when I want to go for a billing, I just want to go for a cross-page posting. So how do I avoid that? Don't put everything on this page. Use a session variable or a cookie or something else to make that transfer. Okay. So this way you can avoid the dependency. Again, this is the other one. That is, whenever you get something from the other page, don't blindly accept the content that is given by the other page. Usually what happens is, if the other page is not validating the fields or the values that the other page is submitting, may not be appropriate one. So you can anytime call previous page dot is valid. Is valid is true if all the conditions, that is validations, are satisfied. You have told you a few validation controls that you can put in your page, that is range validator and required validator, all this kind of thing. They all, both of them, any control that you have, all validator controls, they have two parts. One is validation at the server, validation at the client. So whenever you drag one required field validator onto a page, a JavaScript is also sent with that page. So the JavaScript checks it there at the client side itself. However, if the client disables the JavaScript, then when the control comes back to the server, server will do the validation. So it is not that if I put a validation control on my page, and if I send that page to the client side and the client disables the JavaScript, I'm lost altogether. It's not that case. The validation will take place at both places, one at the server, one at the client side. Client side validation is there in order to avoid that round trip. So when the client, when the required field value is not typed by the client, and if they click on the button, then immediately before the page is submitted to the server, the client browser will automatically raise an error and say that this field is required, you have not typed the value, I'm not going to post that value to the server. Suppose if the client disables the JavaScript on the browser and then forces the browser to submit everything back to the server, in that case also, when the unwanted value or the values which are incorrect values are submitted to the server, there will be a server-side validation to check that the things are in compliance with the rules and regulations that you have imposed on the page. If it is not, then this property, that is valid. Again, I have the problem with the mouse button there, so the pointer is valid will be false. Anytime you can check and verify whether the page is valid, that means to say that page satisfies all the validation that you have put for the field. If so, then you take an action, otherwise don't take any action. Again, this one I've already shown that thing, but it was not working. You can check whether the given page is a cross-page postback. So you can always check that thing. Is cross-page postback will be true if the request is for the current page by some other page. Otherwise, you can use is postback. Is postback is for the current page, and the other one is for the cross-page postback. There are two things. Is postback is when the request comes back to the same page. Is cross-page postback is when the request to the current page is initiated by some other page. So you have two different ones. I will quickly complete this. Other one is the server.transfer. Server.transfer is used to send the request to other page. Now the difference between redirect and transfer is, when I send a redirect, the request goes to the client then comes back to some other page. So I give the response to the client and say that don't come here, go to the other page. So the request goes there, or my response goes to the client then goes to some other page. What is server.transfer? I get a request, I don't tell anything to the client. On my own, that is in the server, I just redirect that request to some other page. That is called as transferring. You get a request, you transfer that request to the server side, to other page. This is done at the server side. The client is unaware that he has sent a request to one page and that is not the page that is creating it. Some other page is creating the responses. So what is happening at the client side? Because the client is unaware that the request is redirected on this server to some other page, the URL that the client machine shows will not change. They will see the same URL, but backside their request is transferred to some other places. It may be a way of hiding what is going on, so the server will not, the client will not get any clue as to what is happening with their request because it is getting transferred to many pages. But the bad part is, in the middle of this transaction, if the client presses a refresh, then the things will be unpredictable. Remember, when the request comes, when everything goes fine, you get a request from the client. On your own, you transfer it to some other place, that's okay. But when in the middle of this transferring, if the client again presses the refresh button, second round of request will come. You must be careful enough to handle this kind of situation. More about it in the other class. Okay, I'll just tell you how to achieve that thing. You have to just tell server.transfer and the page where you want to transfer it. That's a simple syntax is server.transfer and the page where you want to transfer the request. Remember, the browser will not make any change in this URL. It is only done at the server side. That's the difference between them. So server.transfer URL will not change. Server.transfer is a server method, whereas the CrossPage PostaBacks is the client way of redirecting it. So if somebody can ask you this question in the Viva.